This is the benefits of never drinking in your life. This man's never drank or smoked in his life. I don't think I'm not saying it's a good thing, and I'm not promoting that.
I feel bad. I am so fucked.
Just hearing that makes me fucking thirsty.
Should I start sweating? Hey guys, don't forget to hit that like and that subscribe, okay? I know I'm supposed to say that every time, and the producers would give me a hard time for not saying it. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit that fucking bell, okay? Hey, today we got a treat for you. What do you think, guys? Who's the toughest guy in this room? I know it's not you, Adam.
It's not me.
It might be Adam. But we have a treat for you today. We have a very famous guy, badass, boxer, trainer. Jason, welcome aboard.
How you doing, guys?
We're doing wonderful.
Thanty for having me on. I appreciate it, huh? It's
Jason
pretty exciting.
Parillo, this guy, MMA, and the guy knows how to move the hands, okay, and train the fighters. But, you know, today I really want to know more about the fun side of the game. You know, you always see these golfers, and I know this is a weird analogy, but
I can't wait for this.
A golfer can be in the game for, 35, 45 years, right? But how long is a boxer in the game, really? What's the average, Jason?
You know what? I never looked up the average. I mean, you got guys that, but well, granted, you got to remember, fighters start as a kid. Sometimes you look at someone like De La Hoya started, competing a 5-year-old kid. So maybe he retired at, what did he retire in?
Like 27 or 8.
Was it that early?
Yeah. Well, he came back.
He came back. So he came back. But let's say 27. That's still, I guess, 20 years, right?
20 years,
fighting.
Yeah.
Technically at a point.
Yeah.
But what you're talking about actually professionally. So you look at a golfer that's now competing for money. He's competing for 40 years, 30, 40 years. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a different animal.
Right.
De La Hoya at 5 years old was competing for nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
He was competing for to be a tough kid.
Well, and then think about it. You know, they make this big deal, and I know it's a big deal. We've had a bunch of NFL players die, but you're going to hit your head, you're going to get your ass kicked. But I would think the NFL has a huge concussion problem. I would think you would have the same kind of issues in
the
boxing.
CTE. Yeah. No, exactly. And I actually, a guy I know did a documentary. I did an interview for the documentary on it about CTE. And it's like a lot of times the boxers are going to say that the football players have it worse, and the football players are going to say that the boxers have it worse. And I think the reason being is because if you're passionate, you love it, and that's the most important thing in your life, you don't give a fuck if you sacrifice your brain. I mean, it's not necessarily the way you're going to think if it happens, because if it happens, you're going to say it wasn't worth it, probably.
I think that light got shed on that whole thing when Junior Seau went out, and it was like, wait, what? I mean, he was such a beloved Southern California football player. It's like, how could he possibly take his life?
Yeah, but he was a stud. He donated his brain.
From what I remember he actually took the shotgun and put it to his chest.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
So his brain could be salvaged to study.
You know, it's really interesting to me. You fought. You had 8 fights. You had 6 KOs. You had the detached retina. And you're sitting there one day going, gee, I wonder if I want to go to work at Kmart or something. I mean, you got to figure out you're out, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah. Well, yeah. No, you do. I mean, because it's not like it's the most lucrative career early in the career. I mean, even as a professional, you say I'm a professional boxer, people think to themselves, oh, you got to be killing it. No,
you got to be
making shit. Yeah. You're paying to fight, really, at the end of the day, in the beginning of your career. So, you got to think about that. Fortunately for me, I had already been training. I had sponsors when I was a fighter that was helping me do the amateurs and whatnot, and I had sponsors when I became a pro. But at the same time, I was always earning money training. I was always working. I had to work. I moved out. I was on my own since I was 18 years old, and when I making my money since I was 18 years old was teaching people how to throw punches. I would go to the gym, train, do my thing, go back to the gym that me and a buddy, my buddy, because he was a little older, and two of my older friends, Sean McCauley was a local guy, opened up a gym called LA Boxing over off Newport Boulevard in Wilson. Remember the original LA Boxing, not this one over here on 17th Street, but down the road.
Know exactly which one.
I've been there I was there. We opened. I helped open. We were drywalled the place. But I would go to the gym, and then I'd come back and I just train the local Newport Beach girls and whatnot.
The fun stuff. Yeah.
You do a little housewife training.
Yeah, little housewife, make the money out the housewives. And move
this is how you beat the shit out of your husband.
Well, you don't want to smooth over this though. Jason has been, he's a trainer extraordinaire. Fighter by fighter, he's becoming a legend in the business of MMA fighting. And you're a striker, right? This guy's got hands like, I don't even want to call him a name at this point because I'll get struck from where he's sitting right there. But fighter after fighter just lays praise on this man for how he's able to transition them into a killer MMA guys, right? And you've been training since what?
Yeah,
you were young when you were training people.
Yeah, I was also fortunately at that time. It was the beginning of No Holds Barred. It wasn't MMA at the time. It was called No Holds Barred.
Yeah.
And the other guy, the founder, the original guy that my older buddy that I helped open up the gym with, Sean McCauley, he fought in the early bare knuckle no hold bar fights, and so
I remember that name.
Yeah, and I would work with we would help each other. I became pretty good boxer, so I was probably better of anybody in the room that was boxer at the time, especially in this area for God's sakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would work with there'd be guys that fight MMA. So with Sean fighting that MMA fight, fighting in these early MMA fights, he was attracted. At that time, how many were there? There was not a lot. So locally, there was a lot of MMA, or I would say No Holds Barred at this time in Orange County. So I would work with MMA guys because I was a boxer. I was knowing, hey, that kid. Because I was a kid. I'd be holding hand pads for guys fucking 10 years older than me. I was holding hand pads for Gary Ballard, who was fighting for the IBF title, middleweight, fucking when I was, I don't know, fucking 20 years old. I was 20 years old, and I'm holding hand pads for guys fighting for the IBF world title on a Don King promotion. You know what I mean? Fucking, so at the, those housewives helped me get to a good point.
I bet they did. I love those housewives.
But I think you have to imagine though a lot of these guys coming in had like grappling experience or jiu-jitsu experience, right? They're not boxers, right?
Oh no, at that time boxer was like they had two left hands.
So that's where you come in and just make them a fighter. Yeah.
Yeah, it made a and it's still today it's still evolving. The sport today is still evolving and it's getting better. I mean, the level of the game is getting higher and higher at this point.
Did a lot of guys, like when I went to school, I wrestled and, all the way through. But did you get a lot of wrestlers? Is that what?
Yeah, a lot of wrestlers, a lot of grapplers, a lot of jiu-jitsu guys, a lot of, but at that time, I think in the beginning there, it was more like jiu-jitsu, kickboxer. But, it was wrestler. It's so specific. It's really blended into a full-blown sport at this point. And like I said, that being said, it's going to get the boxing is going to get better. Everybody's transitioning from going from wrestling to boxing to kicking is all getting a lot cleaner.
Where's the sport going? It's changed quite a bit in the last 20 years.
Money has certainly picked up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
significantly.
Yeah, it has.
When did they start doing that octagon stuff and all that fun stuff? They didn't have that before. They started with a regular ring, and then they started doing the octagon.
Well, the octagon came early. Well, I think the octagon came in the 90s, or late 90s, late 90s. With the UFC, that was it. The octagon, that was like the whole deal, and that was when it kind of transitioned to MMA as well.
Well, the star was the octagon, right? Oh, the octagon. It doesn't care who was fighting; it was the octagon.
No, they used to call him, I'm an octagon fighter.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Well, that's if you fought for the UFC as well. See, the thing is, the UFC is really the pinnacle of the sport of MMA. Really, it's made it legit. It's legitimized it being on ESPN. You know what I mean? They started, and they slowly did, obviously, through Spike TV. They might have hit another couple other
pay-per-views,
but Fox,
yeah.
Fox, and eventually ESPN.
Speaking of that, what do you think of Dana White? I mean, how do you feel he's doing with the whole situation?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, you're looking
I'm
at
looking
him.
at you.
Yeah.
But see, I get caught up in the conversation. I forget that we're doing something here.
Hey, by the way, guys, just for a minute, Adam, are you awake over there? I haven't heard a peep out of you yet.
I'm kind of shocked because Jason, like, I know you so much just from being over at Ruka and seeing you around work and stuff, and I really started there without any knowledge at all of fighting, and it's always been so interesting to me to hear like your background and everything, and so I don't know, just seeing like the real like expertise of you shine through beyond like taking people who
So
are.
you didn't realize I actually did this.
He's an expert in the flip-flop section at
I'm just
Ruka.
gonna bullshit my way through it the best I
Hey,
can.
Adam, go back to sleep.
Well, no, I mean, I see you making people run sprints, so it's all so foreign to me that honestly just absorbing it and hearing about it is kind of always what I've enjoyed about fighting, because I mean, look at me, I'm fucking built like toothpicks here. Like,
Well, you're like, dude, I'm gonna get on my board.
yeah. So it's just one of those things where I'm always very interested knowing nothing, and I actually like to learn about that.
You're
shit.
really good at that. Well, let's get back to Dana White. I'd like to know what you think about Dana White and how he's approaching the whole business, if you will.
I
calling
mean,
it business.
he's a very controversial guy, really,
is.
at the end of the day. So, I think some people really, walk on eggshells how they talk about the whole situation. They don't want to talk too positive about him or too negative about him even, really, today, because I think there's a lot of figures like that if you do. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different figures.
Well, he can make and break, right? He can make and break guys.
Yeah, he can make a break.
Oh yeah.
Just by saying you can fight or you can't fight.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You know what? I don't think he's at the point of where he's going to be that anal retentive, where he's just really dictating that hard. You know what I mean? To where he's like gripping on fucking, no, you can fight. He's been around way too long for that. I believe at the end of the day he's doing I think he's done a tremendous job. I think he's done a fucking wonderful job. And I'm not saying that to fucking make or break me. I'm a coach. I'm going to either be there or not be there. I don't talk. I'm not going to be in a situation where it's really necessarily going to affect me. But I do really believe that that's how we're on ESPN. I think his tenacity. I think he's got the tenacity as a businessman, the same tenacity you have to have as a fighter.
You know what? I'm a huge Dana fan, and the reason is I'm not in the business, but I know the guy's a very good businessman. In business, I do know.
Yeah, he does
And
do a great job.
The cat's got it,
Yeah.
When you got that Midas touch. We know a lot of guys that have the Midas touch, especially in this town. And then a lot of the schmucks, right? So most of the people I think that are calling him a schmuck are probably just that.
Schmucks themselves.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Me personally, I don't even think about what people are saying or not. I'm just thinking about what's going on. Really, the facts that matter. I'd say for me, there's not a personal thing. There's gonna be a great fighter that I fucking hate to fucking death, but I ain't gonna say he's a fucking not a great fighter. You know what I'm saying? That guy's a great fighter. I think he's a fucking piece of shit, but he's a great fighter.
Yeah.
Dana White, also, I think his personality comes off like a piece of shit. I think he actually handles himself well as well.
Yep.
You know what?
She does.
It's hard to do, but anytime you're in that much of a light, you know better than anybody. Hammer fucking.
Well, it's like the old Don King.
Yeah.
Right? He's like the old Don King. He controlled the fucking boxing forever, right? He decided who fought who and when, and the purses
Don
and all that
King
kind
was
of thing.
way on the other side of that one, though.
Well, for boxing back in the day,
Yeah.
he was the guy. You had to go through Don King to get any fights.
A lot of corruption back in those days.
Well, there's a lot more. There was different competition, I think, of boxing with Bob Arum, Don King. You know what I mean? And then you got Top Rank, and now it's constantly because the fighter really ends up being the promoter of the game of boxing. In MMA, there's more promotions. I guess it's so. There's Top Rank promotion, but if you fight for Top Rank, you could fight against a Don King fight. I don't think Don King's still around, is he?
No, he's not.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
I think he's still alive.
He's really old.
He is still alive, though,
He's
right?
dirt school.
Yeah.
No, but the thing that, and I want to get off Dana, but the thing about Dana is, he's made that sport. I mean, that boy's put it all together. And
So
speaking
Fertitta's really helped him out as well.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Of course.
But he
Sure.
really, he was.
it takes a lot of pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So Jason, what's your next thing? I mean, you've got some great fighters right now. You're training hard. I'm sure you got some great fights coming up. But where do you see yourself in 10 years from now doing? What? Anything?
Just sitting in the gym. Come on, kid.
Shadow box in his mirror. No,
Come on, kid. There you go. Stay behind the shoulders. There you go. Double that jab.
I'm gonna be in this chair sleeping.
It's funny because I just went out to Las Vegas this past weekend to watch the fights. We were with one of my fighters, Chito Vera. Chito Vera. Woo, Chito.
Chito Vera.
Chito, yeah.
And we went to box. I brought him over to my coaches out there training fighters, and my coach is 80. My old coach, my boxing coach, my mentor growing up.
Reed?
Jesse Reed.
Yeah.
Yes. And he's 80 years old. You know, he's sitting in the gym.
So he's like the Rocky guy.
He tried to fight. He's
Mickey.
like
Mickey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mickey.
But it's funny because the first time I brought Chito out there to spar with him, and one of his old fighters and a good friend of mine, Paul Spadafora, but when we're out, the first time we went out there, I go, hey, we're going to go see my boxing coach. He's 80 years old. And we go in, and I go, hey, and I'm talking to Jesse, and he doesn't really comes in, and he just kind of like look around looking for him.
Right.
And I go, Jesse, Chito. She goes, oh, okay. He goes, looks at me, he goes, fuck. He goes, I thought he was going to be like a old fucking man. I mean, and he is. But the way he carries himself, you'd think he was
60.
This is the benefits of never drinking in your life. This man's never drank or smoked in his life. I don't think I'm not saying it's a good thing, and I'm not promoting that.
I feel bad.
I am so fucked.
Just hearing that makes me fucked up.
Should I start sweating? Damn, Jason.
Yeah. Oh, it worries me too. I look up and say, but you know what? Fuck. Although you had to already be all in. You had to be already committed. That's what happens. You're already committed to it because at the day, most 80 I'm not sure if I want to make it to 80, to be honest.
I don't know if that sounds worth it.
I don't know
The bottom of this beer sounds just as good as 75
when
to
you're
me.
75 and you're sitting around going, you know what? No, right, I don't want to. 79, you're like, do I really want to die
Do I
next
need
year?
that? Yeah.
I need some housewives to spar with right now.
But I'll tell you guys, I know a lot of 80-year-olds. I'm getting up there, and I'm not there yet, but that are pretty damn fit, and it's really, seems like
you're
these
right.
are the guys from Newport
You're
Beach.
right.
Yeah.
They're walking, they're running, they're riding their bikes, they're surfing. I mean, they're doing shit.
Yeah, you stay active.
Yeah.
Like he's obviously, I think a big part of him staying active, holding hand pads in the gym every day with young kids. You know what I mean?
I refuse to believe it's the alcohol.
I'm going with you. I don't want to believe it's the
You
alcohol.
bring up a good point. You were asking about, what are you going to do, Jason, later on? And you as a trainer, you got these young people in front of you, and at what point do you go to them and say, hey, you need to think beyond what you're doing right now? Because, BJ Penn, you trained him, and he's moved on. What is he going for governor of
he
Hawaii
was
right now?
He unfortunately fell short in the prelims.
Did he? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so,
yeah.
But still, he's still kind of pushing. For me, I think that was a good experience for him, being the fact that
Absolutely.
There's guys that are running for 30, 40 years, like golfers. You know what I mean? They're staying in the business for like golfers. So he needed to get his feet wet, I think.
And you got Bisping. He's now actually acting, and he's announcing a lot of fights
great.
now.
He's
you got
doing
Ortiz, Tito. All these guys, this guy is trained here. He's a failed politician as well from Huntington Beach. But
Troy, I'm glad you went that way, because what I was thinking after 10 years, if you're still not still training, have you thought about playing the Joe Rogan of the side and announcing and
do some type of commentator? I mean, that's crossed my mind just because I've had a buddy in the business said, hey, you know what? We like your voice. I think that you'd be good. That's back when actually UFC was with Fox.
But your face is much better for radio.
But yeah. No, but I think about that. My downfall it benefits me and it hurts me at the same time, because really I'm pretty consistent with having big fights over the years. So I always stop and think about the fight. And it's like, God, I put my heart in the fight the same way the athlete puts it in the fight. So it makes me, and I said, okay, I got to, I got a 29-year-old girlfriend, for God's sake. She's like, okay, so
wait a minute.
What's your plan for your What's your plan? She looks at me like she's trying to plan my future the same way that I should have been trying to plan my future when I was her age.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, and I got that, and I'm like, I get it, and I'm like, but I just, you think sometimes you have a Peter Pan syndrome too. You think your ass is never going to age. You know what I mean? But
and then you have no ass. You're like, what the hell?
Hey, but it's scary, the position of a coach. And what you guys are asking me is a valuable question that people need to fucking understand too. There is no fucking insurance plan. There's no fucking 401k. There's no fucking, there's nothing like, there's no retirement plan. To make a living off being a coach, just a fucking coach, is a fucking, it's a very difficult job.
You're going uphill all the time.
You're going uphill your whole fucking life. And Jesse, my coach, used to say that to me. Yet he still does it today. You know what I mean? But at the day, he used to say that. So I've learned lessons with him with that as well. I think to myself, I got to make some adjustments. Am I the youngest guy in the world? By far, no. Am I the oldest guy in the world? Also not. So I still got obviously time to try to, and I've got ideas in my mind, but I just don't know which I'm going to really focus on.
I'm not going to say this, Jesse, to your face, but you don't drink, you don't smoke, you live in Vegas, and you probably don't fucking gamble, do you?
He does it. His wife does. His wife gambles.
There you go.
Jason, I suppose part of that equation is, as a trainer, do you get to participate in any purses? Or are you too far down the line to be able? You got like Cyborg.
You mean a
who
percentage?
I love, by the way. I love Cyborg. She wins a big title. Do you get a piece of that action at all?
Yeah, everything's on percentage.
You don't have to tell me amounts. I'm just curious.
But certain fighters are more generous than others. But the standard for a coach is 10%.
Okay, so it's up to them.
You're basically a caddy.
Okay.
Yeah, you're a caddy. Yeah, it's basically what you
Give
are.
me that fucking 9 iron,
You're
bro.
okay. You gotta really love it. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. And that's my problem is my not making it. And I think that's what happens with my coach. See, the thing is some coaches just do it. They never even done it. They just do coaching. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I didn't do. I wasn't even an MMA fighter. I fought some different rinky-dink bullshit. But I was a professional boxer, and I was a real professional fighter. I trained like a professional fighter. Trained with world-class athletes in the boxing game, and obviously now in the MMA game. But I think a coach, the saying, if you can't coach, all that type of thing. I think also sometimes for some reason, get this connection with these athletes. It's not like I got a gym full of 50 fucking guys.
Right.
I'm at a private gym, so I get guys that, I take my time. I figure out who, I got people reaching out. I got people reaching out to me. I got people reaching out to me today. Somebody's reached out to me today and say, I want to come train with you. There's no doubt. But I don't train any of these people, because the mechanics of how it works at my gym makes it a little difficult as well. But I've been pretty successful with picking the fighters that come to me.
Very
I think
successful.
It also happens organically with the relationships I develop with these because they're real motherfuckers. You know what I mean? They're like, they want to do this. This is the most important thing in their life. And I remember what that feels like. And then I attach myself to that.
And that's got to be the number one thing, right? If you don't believe you're going to win every fucking fight, get the fuck out of my gym, right?
Well, that's it. Your confidence is a big thing.
That's a pretty damn nice gym you got there too.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm blessed. You know what I mean? Yeah, Pat Tenori blessed us with a beautiful gym over there.
And that sauna is nothing to pass up either.
And we all love the sauna.
Yeah, I don't understand why you do interviews in the sauna and the fucker's not on though. But it's, you guys should be sweating your balls
They
off
should have had
in
some
there.
clothes on. Jesus. Next time.
Yeah. No, but hey, listen, Jason, I want to thank you for coming by. Guys, hit that subscribe, hit that like. We're going to have Jason back, along with a bunch of fighters, and we'll tell you who's fighting next. Love you guys. Peace out.